Long ago, beneath the endless blue waves of the Atlantic Ocean, there was a kingdom like no other, the kingdom of Atlantis. The ancient city sparkled with shimmering crystal towers, its streets paved with silver and gold, while its people, the Atlanteans, lived in harmony with the sea. At the heart of this magnificent realm stood the royal palace, carved from mother of pearl and glowing with an otherworldly light. Here, the rulers of Atlantis had kept peace and prosperity for centuries, governing with wisdom and kindness. But, as with any great kingdom, Atlantis faced trials. The most difficult one would arrive during the reign of a young and brave queen, Seraphina, the Queen of Atlantis. Seraphina had inherited the throne from her parents, King Nereus and Queen Calliope, when she was still very young. Though she was born with the heart of a ruler, her spirit was kind, and her connection to the ocean was said to be stronger than any ruler before her. Seraphina had grown up alongside the creatures of the deep. The great whales sang to her, the dolphins played around her, and even the most mysterious creatures of the trenches bowed in her presence. She was beloved by all, both her people and the sea itself. The queen had a special gift. She could hear the voice of the ocean. It spoke to her in whispers, like a lullaby carried by the tides. This gift allowed her to sense any disturbance within her kingdom, no matter how far it was from her throne. One evening, as the sun dipped below the horizon and the waters of Atlantis glowed under the moonlight, Seraphina sensed something unusual. The ocean's song, which had always been peaceful and gentle, became disturbed and full of sorrow. The waves began to speak to her of a growing darkness. Creatures of the deep had been disappearing, and the once clear waters were turning murky and cold. Concerned, Seraphina called upon her most trusted advisor, the wise and ancient sea turtle, Thalassos. "Something is terribly wrong, Thalassos," she said, pacing across the grand hall of her palace. "The sea no longer sings with joy, it weeps. I fear something dark stirs in the depths." Thalassos nodded slowly. "The ocean has been uneasy, my queen. Whispers of an ancient power awakening have reached even my ears. It is said that far beyond the coral reefs of eternity lies a forbidden trench, deeper than any known to our people. Within that trench, a creature sleeps, a creature known only in the oldest legends, Abyssos, the Leviathan of shadows." Seraphina's heart skipped a beat. She had heard of Abyssos only in childhood stories. It was said that the Leviathan was once the guardian of Atlantis, but after a terrible betrayal long ago, it had been sealed in the deepest trench, never to awaken again. Why now? Why would Abyssos stir after so many centuries? Seraphina asked. Thalassos shook his head. "I do not know, my queen, but the darkness spreading across our waters is no coincidence. Abyssos's awakening could mean the end of Atlantis as we know it." Determined to protect her people, Seraphina knew what she must do. "I will go to the trench," she said with resolve. "I will confront Abyssos and stop whatever darkness is threatening our kingdom. I will not allow my people or the ocean to suffer." Thalassos bowed. "You are brave, my queen, but you must not go alone. The journey is perilous, and Abyssos is powerful beyond imagination." Seraphina nodded. "I will not go unprepared." The next morning, Seraphina assembled a small group of loyal companions. Thalassos, despite his age, insisted on joining her. Alongside him was Orion, the captain of the royal guard, and a skilled warrior who wielded a trident forged from the strongest seashells. Joining them was Marina, a clever and fearless inventor, whose knowledge of the ocean's mysteries was unmatched, and Nixie, a young healer who could communicate with the coral reefs and summon their healing powers. Together, they embarked on their journey across the vast ocean. As they traveled, the waters grew darker, and the once colorful coral gardens turned to gray stone. The sea creatures they passed, once joyful and lively, were now silent, their eyes filled with fear. Seraphina's heart ached for them, but she pressed on. After days of swimming through treacherous waters, they finally reached the coral reefs of eternity. Beyond the reefs lay the entrance to the Forbidden Trench. The waters here were thick with shadows, and an eerie silence hung in the air. "This is it," said Thalassos, his voice heavy. "Beyond this point lies the trench. Are you ready, my queen?" Seraphina took a deep breath and nodded. "We must be, for Atlantis." Together, they descended into the trench, its darkness swallowing them whole. The deeper they went, the colder and more oppressive the water became. Faint whispers echoed around them, but these were not the gentle songs of the ocean. These whispers were filled with fear and anger. At the bottom of the trench, they finally found it, Abyssos' prison. The great Leviathan lay coiled within a massive cavern, its enormous body covered in dark, ancient scales. Its eyes, closed for centuries, slowly began to open, glowing with a cold, blue light. Seraphina stepped forward, her heart pounding in her chest. "Abyssos," she called, her voice steady. "I am Seraphina, Queen of Atlantis. I command you to stop this darkness and return to your slumber." The Leviathan's gaze fixed on her, and its voice rumbled through the water like thunder. "Queen of Atlantis, I once protected your people, but they betrayed me, casting me into this prison. Now I awaken to reclaim what was once mine." Seraphina stood tall, though the weight of Abyssos' presence was almost overwhelming. "You were betrayed by the rulers of old, not by me or my people. We have lived in harmony with the sea. If you destroy Atlantis, you destroy the ocean itself." Abyssos narrowed its eyes. "Words mean nothing to me, child. Show me your strength, if you truly believe you can save your kingdom." With that, the Leviathan let out a deafening roar, and the waters of the trench began to swirl violently. Seraphina quickly called to her companions. "Orion, protect Marina and Nixie. Thalassos, stay close." Orion charged forward with his trident, striking at the swirling water. Marina unleashed one of her inventions, a glowing orb that created a shield of light, protecting them from the worst of Abyssos' attacks. Nixie called upon the coral reefs to send healing energy to their group, but the power of the Leviathan was immense. Seraphina swam toward Abyssos, her heart racing. She could feel the ocean around her, calling out to her for help. She closed her eyes and focused, letting the whispers of the sea guide her. As she did, she felt a surge of power welling up inside her, power that had been passed down from the ancient rulers of Atlantis. With newfound strength, Seraphina raised her hands, and the waters responded. A great wave of light surged forward, wrapping around Abyssos. The Leviathan roared in fury, thrashing against the light, but Seraphina held firm. "You were once the protector of Atlantis," Seraphina said, her voice calm but strong. "And you can be again, but not through fear. Atlantis needs your strength, not your wrath." Abyssos struggled for a moment longer, but then slowly its thrashing ceased. The great creature's eyes softened, and the shadows around it began to dissolve. "You are different," Abyssos murmured, its voice softer now. "You speak with the ocean itself. Perhaps you are right." Seraphina lowered her hands, the light fading away. "Atlantis needs its guardian. The sea needs balance. I will not let the past destroy what we have built." For a long moment, Abyssos was silent. Then slowly, The great Leviathan bowed its head. "Very well, Queen of Atlantis. I will return to my slumber. But know this, I will always be watching. Should your people ever forget their bond with the ocean, I will rise again." With that, Abyssos' glowing eyes closed, and the great creature sank back into the depths of the trench. The darkness that had once filled the waters began to lift, and the ocean returned to its natural state, clear and bright. Seraphina and her companions returned to Atlantis as heroes, their journey a testament to the strength of the bond between the people and the sea. Under her reign, Atlantis flourished, and the whispers of the ocean once again sang with joy. And deep within the trench, Abyssos slept peacefully, knowing that as long as Seraphina ruled, Atlantis would remain a kingdom of light, balance, and harmony.